In Toronto, there's a basketball fan like no other.
I breathe, drink, everything about the Raptors basketball.
He's truly...
My whole life is around the Raptors season.
Deeply.
For the last 22 years, I've never missed a game.
A Raptors Super Fan.
My name is Nav Bhatia, and I'm Raptors Super Fan.
If you've watched any Raptors games in the last decade, maybe you've noticed the bearded man sitting courtside. Well, that's Nav, and his story starts in India and takes him right here, to Canada. Fleeing violence, Nav left and settled in Toronto. He worked hard, opened a very successful car dealership, and when the city got its own NBA franchise...
The Raptors arrived and I bought my first 2 tickets. I enjoyed the game. I was cheering the most in the whole arena.
The team embraced him, and being a superfan has its perks.
When the legend Kobe Bryant came for his last game to Toronto, he came to me and said, "Superfan, I want to thank you what you have done, because you have created a culture of bringing everybody together through this game of basketball."
He also gets to hang with Canadian royalty.
I know Drake pretty well.
But what's most important about Nav's super fandom is that he represents the changing face of basketball fans around the world.
Basketball has changed my life tremendously. It has given me an opportunity to integrate my community, the South Asians, into the mainstream.
Nav may be the first Raptors superfan, but he wants everyone on board.
I want to see this game taking to the next level, where all the communities, everybody, the Sikhs, the Hindus, the Muslims, everybody coming to the game.
We want Nebraska to be recognized as a basketball state. Within the next few years, South Sudanese players are going to infiltrate the game massively. And I want Omaha to be the center of that, because this is where the community is. My name is Kwang Deloney. I am the founder and executive director of the Omaha Talents Academy. We are a basketball program dedicated towards serving the South Sudanese population. Omaha is the largest population of South Sudanese outside of Africa. From the moment that I picked up a ball, it was something that I knew I wanted to do and I wanted to get better at. When I got the chance to become the player that I was and ended up in a Division I school and realizing that, hey, I know guys that are just as good, that are just as capable. We're built to play this game. The only thing that's really missing is the training. This is where it all started. A few kids wanted to get some basketball lessons, and right here, right here on this concrete is where we would work on our stuff. We started this program in 2012. 4 years later, these guys are incredible players. I'm probably spending more time on the phone with high-level Division I coaches than I ever had at any point in my life. Gwek has been probably one of the best players in the state since 7th grade. The community has wrapped its arms around him, and we want to see Gwek do well.
I started with the Omaha Talents when I was in middle school. I was Gatorade Player of the Year for the state of Nebraska in 2016. I just think a lot about basketball and all the fortune I've had with it. I was born in South Sudan, and I came over to the United States when I was 4.
We come from a journey that's really, really, really painful. A lot of us were born in refugee camps. It almost felt like the world is not designed for us. We've been on the run for as long as I can remember, trying to find a home one country after another. I grew up in the South Omaha projects. I came here at 9 years old. It made us men. It gave us enough challenges by the time that we're 18, 20 years old, we're ready to take on the world. Most people look at this thing here, and they see a clothes hanger. This was actually our first basket. I remember being yay high, and grabbing the ball and trying to dunk on each other. Basketball has created a really, really, really special brotherhood.
It brings a lot of joy in my heart to see all these other Sudanese kids just really making something out of nothing. Because when we first came here, we really didn't have anything.
I'm really excited. I think Omaha should be excited. I think the basketball world should be really, really excited of what's going to be coming. We can see it very clearly. It's just a matter of time and working.
It was the game that coined a dozen catchphrases and made over $1 billion in quarters. But NBA Jam almost never saw the light of day.
Oh my! He's on fire!
This is NBA Jam game designer Mark Turmel.
So we put together a demo, a videotape, VHS. We sent it to the NBA and said, hey, we're making this cool game. And they immediately shut it down and said, no, we don't want the NBA logo in the arcades. So once we got rejected, we made a videotape of nice family entertainment centers. And we sent that back to them and said, look, your logo can be here. So they relented and provided the license. When we put it in the arcade for the very first time, there were no stats that differentiated the players. Everybody assumed that Shaq was a bad three-point shooter or Stockton could steal the ball. So we realized pretty quickly that we had to, up our game to match the real world.
No good!
Well, if it's just looking at pure attributes, I happen to be the best player in the game.
Showtime!
When you actually put in my secret character, it just shows question marks for the stats. But they're all 10s or 9s.
Take back from the outside. Down it.
I'm pretty good at NBA Jam.
To test the claim, we had Mark hack into the machine
There we go.
and turn on cheat codes.
All right, now we're talking.
Usually when somebody finds out that I've made NBA Jam, they say, I spent so much money on that NBA Jam, or I flunked a class in college because of NBA Jam. Well, I look at the game now, I wish it were smoother, but it was the technology at the time.
Razzle, dazzle.
The game still holds up today.
Sam Holtz was 12 years old when he won ESPN's 2015 March Madness Bracket Challenge.
I had the best bracket out of 11.57 million people.
What if we told you this bracketology prodigy doesn't even watch college basketball?
Before the tournament, I really don't watch any college basketball.
This time last year, young Sammy was filling out his winning NCAA tournament bracket along with millions of other Americans. Sam, what was your strategy for success?
Well, I just filled out who I think is gonna win.
Was there a science to your picks?
No, it's just pick whoever you want to win. There's no science, just that simple.
Maybe Sammy's mom has an idea.
I think he was lucky.
All right, let's take a closer look at some of Sammy's predictions. Why pick 11 seed UCLA to make the Sweet 16?
Because I visited their campus and I really liked their college.
Or 7 seed Michigan State to make the Final Four?
Tom Izzo, the coach, is Italian and I'm kind of Italian too, so.
Or Wisconsin to upset then undefeated Kentucky?
It kind of gets boring to watch the same team win and win every year, and I wanted to see you do that.
You must really love basketball.
I'm more of a baseball, football guy. Baseball is my main sport.
How is this possible? I mean, what are the chances of filling out a perfect bracket? We consulted bracket expert Mike Magazine.
Somewhere in some number of quintillions.
Thanks, Professor Magazine. Any advice for the millions of Americans you'll probably beat out again this year?
Just pick who you think is going to win and go with your gut.
Remind us why we should listen to you?
Because I won it last year.
There you have it. Pick the schools you visited, don't listen to the experts, and don't watch any college basketball. And you too can reach the promised land, just like Sammy Holtz. These days, to be an NBA champion, you're probably going to need to be a top three-point shooting team. And who better to talk threes than the NBA's all-time leading three-point shooter, Ray Allen.
Hi, I'm Ray Allen.
Yeah, we know, I already said that. Our story begins on February 7th, 1945, back when all shots were worth a mere 2 points. That day, the Columbia University Lions were taking on the Fordham Rams in New York City, and the NCAA introduced the world to the three-point shot. Basketball would never be the same again. Once the NCAA permanently adopted the triple in 1986, the three-point shot mitigated the advantage taller, stronger players were, well, born with. Sure, there were good small players, but incentivizing shots from distance leveled the playing field, or should I say hardwood court. Fast forward 70 years and the three-point shot is the shot, and Ray Allen knows this. Ray is the most prolific three-point shooter in NBA history. For now.
What the hell?
And Ray, like all basketball greats, is a student of the game. When did the three-point shot get introduced to professional basketball?
It all started with the American Basketball Association, better known as the ABA.
Time out! For all you non-basketball fans out there, the NCAA is a National Collegiate Athletic Association. That's college basketball. The ABA, a pro league, was a sort of anti-NBA until it merged with the NBA in 1976. Ball in!
The ABA featured a flashier version of basketball with a colorful ball, dunks, and of course, the three-point shot.
And for that you can thank then ABA Commissioner George Mikan, who wanted to
give the smaller player a chance to score and open up the defense to make the game more enjoyable to fans.
Exactly. So the NBA adopted it pretty much right away, right?
It took a while. It wasn't until 1979 when Boston Celtic Chris Ford, my first NBA coach, hit the first three-point shot in an NBA game.
The first of over 380,000 threes made in NBA history. We take a break from our regularly scheduled programming to bring you The Art of the Three-Point Shot by Mr. Walter Ray Allen Jr.
The key to three-point shot is knowing where you are on the floor before you get the ball. Nobody likes a long two. You need a great knee bend. Gather yourself. Next, you need great lift, straight up and down. And of course, to top it all off, you need an immaculate follow-through. It's so easy, anyone can do it. Almost anyone. Come on, little buddy, you got this. Get in there. You know, your game might be horseshoes.